First off, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And shalom to the Akim out there pushing his word sincerely and all truth. It's your brother Kabash. And we're going to, take a look at this article here and another one. And it's pretty much going into the situation that's over there between Russia and Ukraine, with of course NATO and the United States getting involved. If you have not been living under a rock, right, or been blissfully ignorant, then you should know that there's a very serious conflict, growing between Russia and the West over Ukraine. Russia is concerned. Matter of fact, let's just get into the article because the article explains all of that. So this is an article from RT. It was posted actually yesterday, 7th of February 2022, the year of the Lord. Turning it up. Here about Shem Yahshai turning up. It says Russia and France could go to war. Putin warns Macron. Right? So now the war rhetoric, right, is being increased. Now they're openly, saying it. It says that's what would happen if Ukraine joins NATO, the Russian president has said. Russian President Vladimir Putin told reporters on Monday that Ukraine's entry into the North Atlantic Treaty Organization and a follow-up attempt to retake Crimea would potentially cause a war between Russia and France, as he spoke at a press conference alongside French President Emmanuel Macron. Putin explained in no uncertain terms what Ukraine being accepted into NATO could lead to as he responded to a question by a French journalist. You want France to fight Russia? That's exactly what would happen if Ukraine joins NATO and tries to implement its state policy of reintegrating Crimea by force, Putin told reporters. Kiev has designated Russia as an adversary and insists Crimea belongs to Ukraine, the Russian president explained. After the 2014 coup in Kiev, the peninsula voted to rejoin Russia, something most NATO countries have not recognized. Right? And here's a quote from Putin. You ask me if Russia wants to fight a war with NATO. Let me ask you, does NATO want to fight a war with Russia? Big talk. An attack by Ukraine on Crimea could trigger Article 5 of NATO's founding treaty, pulling all of Europe into a war with Russia, Putin explained. Russia is one of the world's leading atomic powers. There would be no victors. Right. He's so right. Right? Putin told reporters, Macron does not desire such an outcome. Neither do I. The Russian president pointed out that Kiev has already used force to resolve the crisis in Donbass, the two eastern regions of Donetsk and Lugansk, twice already. Where are our guarantees that they won't try that again? Macron visited Moscow on Monday to discuss the situation, right? So we're seeing the war rhetoric, increasing, right? And here, this was actually published a few days ago, almost a week ago, right? And this is, we're just reading the update from Fox News. Russia, Ukraine. U.S. sending 3,000 more troops to NATO's eastern flank, officials say. New satellite images revealed the extent of Russia's buildup in Crimea around Ukraine's border. Pentagon Press Secretary John Kirby told reporters Wednesday that the current situation around Ukraine demands that we reinforce the deterrent and defensive posture on NATO's eastern flank. Kirby announced that 1,000 Americans will be repositioned from Germany to Romania, while another 2,000 are set to be deployed to Europe from the U.S. in the coming days. Right? So we see, the war rhetoric being increased and also the military positioning being increased. There's another article that I found that said Russia has also increased its blood supplies, in their military convoys in preparation for injuries, So we see this war rhetoric, pretty much increasing. This is Joel chapter 3, verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, right? And we know that the coming war, right, is going to result in the Third World War, which is the third woe written of in Revelation, right? There were three woes, right? And those account for the three major world wars, of this, if you want to call it, post, what do they call it again? After Christ, AD, after Christ, yeah. So yeah, the three major wars, World War One, World War Two, World War Three, and we know that this will lead to that, and ultimately, as Putin said, there will be no victors here on earth, but Yahweh Shem Yahushai, his elect angels, and the children of Israel will be the victor. But none of you people who are fighting in the war will be the victor, yo. Prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Right? Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. And that's talking about the angels, and the angels will, be involved first just to manipulate, the leaders, and the men fighting the war. But ultimately, the angels will be a part of the war when Yahushua returns, right? Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Yahushua part, for there I will sit to judge the heathen round about. Because we know ultimately, the Middle East is going to be also, a main area of conflict, So we expect to see that as well. This is Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 1, the word of the Lord. The word that the Lord spake against Babylon, against the land of the Chaldeans, by Jeremiah the prophet, declare ye this among the nations, and publish and set up a standard. Publish and conceal not. Babylon is taken, Bel is confounded, Merodach is broken in pieces, her idols are confounded, her images are broken in pieces. Right? And this Babylon, through the Spirit, is speaking about Mystery Babylon the Great, which is America, that great whore that sitteth upon many waters. Right? So it says, for out of the north, cometh a nation against her, which is what? Which is Russia, right? Which shall make her land desolate, and none shall dwell therein. They shall remove, they shall depart, both man and beast. In those days, right? Meaning in that time, when that war kicks off, fully, right? And in that time, saith the Lord, the children of Israel shall come, and they and the children of Judah together going and weeping, they shall go and seek the Lord their God, which are what? Which are the elect. The elect, are gonna be, well, right now the elect are seeking Heavenly Father Yahweh Shem Yahushai, right? But that's when our deliverance is gonna come here, because World War III is gonna be the culmination of the time of Jacob's trouble, right? Which the charagma is gonna be implemented before World War III is in full effect, right? But a war takes years to develop to its peak, right? We know this. They shall ask the way to Zion with their faces toward, and say, come, let us join ourselves to the Lord in a perpetual covenant that shall not be forgotten. And that's happening now, right? That's happening now. The Lord has pastors that are leading his people to the right way, and that are teaching them, right? Starting with, the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and all the men who teach the same doctrine. We are, we believe we are, the faithful prophets, spoken of in the scriptures. We believe we are members of the hopeful elect. We humbly say that, and we believe that the apostles and the elders are men of the Lord. We humbly say that as well. All right. So we're coming and we're joining ourselves to Yahweh Shem Yahushai in a perpetual covenant, yo. Right? Because we've been lost. Right? Let's get another precept. I don't think that's how they spell it in this. Rumors. All right, let's just get this before we wrap up. This is Matthew chapter 24 and verse 6. It says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, which is what's happening now. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. And that's another thing that, I just wanna point out. Brothers and sisters shouldn't be dismayed by the things that are happening right now. As much as possible through the Spirit. You shouldn't be worried, because these things signal the end of Esau's kingdom and also the beginning of us, which is to come, You know, as the precept says in 2nd Ezra chapter 6, Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So we know that with Esau's decline, with the decline of this current hierarchy, this current hegemony, right, would be the rising of ours, right? And we also know, you know, the scripture said that the Lord will protect us, you know, toward all these things, right? For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet, right? For the nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these things are the beginning, you know, of sorrows, yo, right? So that's pretty much what I want to bring out. Hopefully this lesson was edifying through the Spirit. Forgive me the Spirit to do this one. Shalom.